Mildred Taylor was born on September 13, 1943, in Jackson, Mississippi. She is the younger of two daughters born to Wilbert and Delthea Taylor. Born in a racially segregated South was difficult and sometimes hard on the family. Taylor's father, who had endured repeated racist assaults, was determined to leave the South and raise his daughter in a less racist society with better opportunities. When Taylor was 3 months old, her father moved the family to Toledo, Ohio, where Taylor grew up. Because her father loved the South and had other family members still living there, they visited them on a regular basis. It was during these visits that Taylor learned about her family history through storytelling while sitting on the front porch. These would later become essential to her writing career. In 1950, Taylor attended Scott High School, a newly integrated school in Toledo. She was a shy child, and instead of verbalizing her stories, she turned to writing. She was one of the few African Americans in her high school to be elected to the National Honor Society. She studied hard and was the class officer and editor of the school newspaper. Working to improve her writing, she discovered she was most comfortable writing first-person narratives. She graduated from Scott High School in 1961. After graduating from high school, Taylor enrolled at the University of Toledo, where she majored in English and minored in history. By the age of 19, she had written her first novel, called Dark People, Dark World. The story was about a blind white man living in Chicago's black ghettos, told in first person. The novel attracted some interest from a publisher, but when she disagreed with the editor's call for revision, the book was never published. After graduating from college, she joined the Peace Corps and spent 2 years teaching history and English in Ethiopia. Taylor then returned to the United States and enrolled at the University of Colorado, where she earned her master's degree in journalism. After graduating from Colorado, Taylor settled in Los Angeles to pursue her writing career. While living in Los Angeles, she worked in a number of temporary jobs. She refused a job at CBS as she grew more and more interested in writing. She gives credit to her father, who influenced her to become a writer. She is quoted as saying he was a master storyteller, keeping the South alive. She was also inspired by his family history. In August 1972, she married Elroy Lee Daly. They divorced in 1975, and she had an only daughter. Family strength is an important theme in Taylor's books. She began writing her first book, Song of the Trees, in 1973. This book is about a young black girl named Cassie Logan living with her family in Mississippi during the Depression. Food and work are both scarce and force Cassie's father to leave the area to search for a job. Cassie is left at home with her mother and grandmother and her 3 brothers. Barely scraping by becomes impossible when the last money sent home by Papa is stolen before it arrives to them. When 2 white businessmen pressure them to sell the trees on their land, Big Mama hesitantly agrees. The deal being offered isn't fair, but with hardly any food in the house, there isn't much choice. Cassie is heartbroken because the trees that sheltered her and sing to her each day are like family, and she can't bear to lose them. In no time, the trees begin to fall like soldiers on the battlefront, mortifying Cassie, as she attempts to save them. The actions only anger the workmen, and she finds herself in a dangerous situation. Papa arrives, having been summoned by Mama, just in time to save his children from harm. though not in time to save the beautiful trees and their songs as their songs are silenced. This book genre is historical fiction. It won the first prize in the contest African American category in 1975. Was listed by the New York Times as an outstanding book of the year. Taylor's second book, Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, continues the Logan family saga. Cassie Logan is a 9-year-old who just wants to go to school, choose her own friends, and have nice books to read, and in general enjoy the rights and privileges and receive the respect that ought to belong to any human being. However, Cassie and her brother live in the Deep South during the Depression in an area that suffers from racist attitudes in spite of the abolishment of slavery. The story starts to get interesting when T.J. Avery, Cassie's brother, Stacy's best friend, gets involved in a robbery and assaults along with two white boys whom he regards as friends. When the white boys go too far and kill a white man, T.J. is blamed. A group of white men go to T.J.'s house to try and lynch him, but instead a fire breaks out and all the men rush to put the fire out. The sheriff takes T.J. and he is given a trial. The story ends with Cassie weeping for the land and for T.J., knowing that as a 9-year-old this is nothing she can do to change the situation. This book genre is historical fiction and won the Newbery Book Award medal in 1977. It also won the National Book Award nominee, the ALA Notable Book. Her third book, Let the Circle Be Unbroken, is the sequel to Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry. The book opens up with the upcoming trial of T.J. Avery, Stacy's friend. He is accused of murdering a white man, Jimmy Lee Barnett. Although he is innocent, he is tried by an all-white jury and convicted. Stacy does everything in his power to help his friend, but in the end he is sentenced to death. Stacy runs away to find work. He believes he must take care of his family before they lose the land. He and his friend Mo run away to a sugarcane field to work. 7 months later, they find Stacy several hours away, jailed in a small town in Louisiana. Stacy and Mo were accused of stealing, which put them in jail where they became ill. They were then exonerated and returned home. This book's genre is historical fiction. It won the Coretta Scott King Award in 1982, received a 1981 American Library Association Best Book for Young Adults Award, as well as a 1982 American Book Award nominee in the hard fiction category. The Road to Memphis is the final book in the saga. The novel, like its predecessor, is narrated by Cassie, now 17. Cassie Logan tells the tale about her family and friends who helped to bring Mo Turner out of a tight situation in Mississippi just as World War II is starting. Mo has struck the three Amos brothers with a crowbar, seriously injuring one, after the brothers harass him. In a segregated South of 1941, this is a serious infraction that could result in a lynching or a long-term jail. Stacy Logan owns a car that he bought in Strawberry from a sympathetic lawyer, Wade Jamison. The young couple work together and drive Mo to Memphis, where he takes a train to a relatively safety of Chicago. This book genre is historical fiction. This book won the 1991 Coretta Scott Award. The Land is a prequel to the Logan saga. It is about Cassie Logan's grandfather's trials and tribulations as he goes through to own the land that he has always yearned for. The land that has been in his family for more than 100 years and is still there and is still owned today. The book is historical fiction and won the Coretta Scott King Award in 2002. She has later said she was born in a segregated city, in a segregated state, in a segregated America.